Want to speak real Indonesian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at indonesianpod101.com.
In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use permisi and other words when apologizing in Indonesian. We should use permisi in formal situations, such as when we are ordering something in bars or restaurants. For example, permisi, saya mau pesan kopi ya. Excuse me, a coffee please. We can also use it when asking a question. Permisi, di mana letak Monas? Excuse me, where is the National Monument? Sometimes we will often hear people say ya on the end of command sentences, which is an informal way to say please. This word is used to soften the commands or request. And sometimes, ya is used to ask whether something is true or not. Ya is very often replaced by dong, which have similar meaning and purpose. But be careful in using these words because they are informal and only spoken to close friends and family. The other way to say excuse me is maaf. Maaf. Just like permisi, we can use maaf when asking a question. Except that we only use maaf when apologizing. Maaf can be used for either excuse me or I'm sorry. But if you really want to apologize for something, it might be better to use saya minta maaf. It means I am sorry. And can be used in both formal and informal situations. Saya minta maaf. First, we have the familiar saya or I. Next, we insert the Indonesian word for asking for, minta. Finally, we have maaf, meaning sorry. Saya minta maaf. Now it's time for Vira's Insights. Please remember that in Indonesia, if you accidentally bump into someone, we don't say, I am sorry. Saya minta maaf. Instead, we could just simply say maaf.
Want to speak real Indonesian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at indonesianpod101.com.
In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Indonesia. Sudah siap? Are you ready? Mari kita mulai. So let's start. The most used informal greeting is halo. Halo. Halo means hi or hello. We use it when we meet. It is very casual, so we should only use this greeting with friends or family. If you need to greet someone in a formal situation, say selamat siang. Selamat siang. Literally, selamat siang means good day. We can use selamat siang only during the daytime, from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. During the afternoon, we say selamat sore. Selamat sore. Sore is Indonesian for afternoon, so selamat sore means good afternoon. This is used from about 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. During the night, we say selamat malam. Selamat malam. Malam is Indonesian for night. This is used from 6 p.m. to midnight. And finally, during the morning, we say selamat pagi. Selamat pagi. Pagi is Indonesian for morning. This is used in the morning until 11 a.m. These four greetings are used when we meet someone. But when we leave, we don't say them again. When we part in Indonesia, we say selamat tinggal. Selamat tinggal. Selamat tinggal means goodbye, and it is a formal expression. Finally, in Indonesian, we have an expression meaning see you that can be considered both formal and informal. Sampai jumpa. Sampai jumpa. Now, you can greet people in many different ways in Indonesian. Let's review them all again. When meeting in informal situations, we say halo. When meeting older people or someone we don't know, we say selamat pagi in the morning, selamat siang in the early afternoon, selamat sore in the evening, or selamat malam at night. When living in a formal situation, we say selamat tinggal. When living, no matter whether it's a formal or informal situation, sampai jumpa. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Vira's Insights. In formal situations, Indonesian people commonly greet each other by shaking hands and bowing the head slightly. On the other hand, If we meet someone we are very friendly with, we can just wave. We're going to learn how to go shopping in Indonesia. Before we go, you need to know how to say, how much is it? Ini berapa harganya? Ini berapa harganya? Are you ready to go shopping in Indonesia? Let's go! You see something you like and want to ask the shopkeeper how much it costs. The first thing to say is, permisi. Do you remember what that means? Excuse me. Permisi, ini berapa harganya? Permisi, ini berapa harganya? If you want to be more specific when asking how much is this and refer to a certain type of object, we need to put the noun in front of the question. For example, hat is topi. Permisi, topi ini berapa harganya? Excuse me, how much is this hat? Permisi, topi ini berapa harganya? And sandal is sendal. Permisi, sendal ini berapa harganya? Excuse me, how much are these sandals? Permisi, sendal ini berapa harganya? At this point, the shopkeeper can answer by saying, ini harganya, or yang ini, and then the price. For example, ini harganya Rp30.000, or yang ini Rp30.000. What number is 30.000? I'm not telling you. Okay, it's 30,000. It costs 30,000 rupiahs. Now, it's time for Vira's Insights. A quick way to ask how much is berapa. For example, when you want a coffee or kopi at a coffee shop, you can ask the cashier, pesan kopi dong, berapa? One coffee please. How much is it?
Do you know how to say thank you in Indonesian? In this lesson, you'll learn 3 different ways to say it. Let's start with the easiest one.
Terima kasih. Terima kasih.
Another way to say thank you is
Terima kasih banyak. Terima kasih banyak.
Finally, here's a third way to express your gratitude.
Makasih banget. Makasih banget.
Okay, let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned.
Terima kasih. Terima kasih. Terima kasih banyak. Terima kasih banyak. Makasih banget. Makasih banget.
Well done! You just learned 3 different ways to say thank you in Indonesian.
Do you know how to say I love you in Indonesian? In this lesson, you'll learn 3 different ways to say it. Let's start with how to express your feelings to your loved one. Aku cinta kamu. Aku cinta kamu. Aku cinta kamu. Or if you want to explain those butterflies in your stomach, you can say, Aku naksir dengan kamu. Aku naksir dengan kamu. Aku naksir dengan kamu. And when you feel that I love you is not enough, you can say, Kata-kata tidak dapat menjelaskan cintaku padamu. Kata-kata tidak dapat menjelaskan cintaku padamu. Kata-kata tidak dapat menjelaskan cintaku padamu. You just learned 3 different ways to say, I love you in Indonesian.
Bu, apa ini? Ini pohon beringin.
Oh, apa itu?
Itu keris.
Oh, apa ini?
Ini keluar.
Oh, begitu.
If you want to learn a language but don't have a lot of time to dedicate to the endeavor, you need to study as efficiently as possible. You probably aren't a language learning expert or a world traveler. You might have school or a job or two. So in this video, we'll give you 3 ways to help you learn language more efficiently so that you get the most out of your time and effort. Number 1, use your time when you have it. The most valuable resource you have as a language learner is time. While you may not have to spend money to learn a language, you will have to spend time. Hours and minutes are a currency that you trade on a weekly basis to grow in your language learning. Language learning is probably a priority for you. It might not be the number 1 priority, like keeping your job or taking care of your family, but it does have to be important enough for you to invest significant amounts of time into your learning. There's just no way around it. That being said, use your time wisely. Because of previous commitments, you can quickly fall into the trap of putting your language learning off, thinking, oh, I'll do it next week, or Saturday, I'll do it Saturday. Needless to say, a few weeks can go by and you haven't really learned or practiced anything. If you find that happening, then take some time and reevaluate your approach. It's probably a long shot for you to be able to spend hours every day learning a new foreign language, but you can use your time to spend an hour or even just 10 minutes a day, every day, studying or practicing. If you're on a busy schedule, an hour a day can sound like reaching for the stars, so start slowly with just a 5-minute lesson. Over time, as you learn more and it becomes more routine, you'll want to spend more time studying. And your studying doesn't even need to be all at once. Make use of the little gaps of time you have in the day. Listen to a podcast while driving to and from work. Review new words while on lunch break or right before bed. Even a quick review while in line at the store or waiting for the bus. Together, these moments add up. This way, your little study session will add up to around 60 minutes of practice every day. You'll quickly be able to see significant improvement in your language abilities. Number 2, don't method jump. When you're new to language learning, there's a temptation to try out the newest course, app, or method. There are more language learning tools and courses than I can list. But jumping around from podcast to podcast or from textbook to textbook can really hinder your learning process. It's important to find the best method for you, but when you do, stick with it. Don't get distracted by the newest app, or if you suddenly find something faster, cheaper, claiming it can teach you a language with no work on your part. Stick with your learning course or tool. Consistent practice over a period of time is what is essential for language learning. If you hit a bump or plateau, you might be tempted to think, maybe there's a faster or better way to learn. So you search around and buy the next best language learning tool, only to use it for a couple weeks and realize it wasn't really any better than the last course you tried, and the same difficulties you had are still there. If you're learning your first new language and you pick a specific method or course, we suggest you stick with it for at least 3 to 4 months. You actually hurt yourself in the long run if you constantly switch between resources because you never give yourself the opportunity to progress. Number 3, focus on one thing at a time. When you decide to learn a new language, you're going to be really excited. You have all your resources lined up, a plan in place, and you're ready to go. You think you'll spend 3 to 4 hours a day practicing and that you'll be fluent in no time, but that's only for about 3 days. Then you probably will get a little bit discouraged and avoid it for another 3 days. And this process might repeat 3 or 4 times before you realize that you might be approaching things the wrong way. You can't devour a whole new language in a very short time. You'll burn out immediately. It's better to focus on one small part of the language at a time, either a specific grammar point or a specific vocabulary topic. In the beginning, these should be based on the parts of the language you'll use right away. Even in the business world, research shows that replacing less important tasks with ones that add value and help you reach your goals is the best way to get the most out of your time. As you advance through the language and your level increases, try to pinpoint the harder aspects of the language and work on them one at a time. Learning a foreign language isn't easy. It takes time and work, but it is possible. If you stick to your learning plans and stay focused, you will see improvement in your skills and find satisfaction in using the language. Remember that learning a language is really more like a journey. It doesn't have to feel like school or work. Savor your experience with learning and enjoy every step along the way. And for even more tips on learning efficiently, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.